All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. In this next part of the series of videos, we will be discussing protocols and communication. So let's get into it. So in understand how this works, we need to obviously understand what a protocol is and what the importance of protocols in a network's device communication are. So protocols are just the rules that allow devices to communicate over a network. And there's several of these, such as HTTP, TCP, IP, which I'm going to get into in the next slide. But for now, understanding how it's able to communicate, here's an example of one using TCP, which stands for Transmission Control Protocol. So obviously we have the client right here and the server on the right-hand side, which is what we were discussing in the last part of the videos, clients and servers and how they operate at the network edge. So obviously we have a request and we get a response. So this is just like loading up a web page. In essence, that would be an HTTP because that's for web pages, but it's the same concept. Like if you were to type in a URL and we get a response, the request is us just typing in the URL, and then the response is just going to be what we get as a result, the web page. So obviously we have to connect to the server first, but then we see right here, we can just get this and a file is returned to us. So it's simple. So that's all a protocol is. And like I said, there are several of these, such as HTTP, TCP, and IP, as we see right here. So HTTP, as I said, enables web page transfers, while TCP ensures that data is sent and received in the correct order. TCP also breaks data into packets and reassembles them at the destination. While IP is also responsible which stands for Internet Protocol, like an IP address, it just stands for Internet Protocol address. This is responsible for addressing and routing these packets so they reach the correct device, which is how we're connected to our internet, because we have an IP address associated with it. And in order for us to get what we're looking for, we have to be connected, our device is connected to that. So together, TCP and IP form the backbone of the internet communication. While another good thing to mention here is that DNS, which stands for domain name system, it translates domain names into IP addresses, which allow users to access websites using human-friendly names. Without protocols like these, we wouldn't be able to function smoothly, and we would have no really standardized way to communicate at all over the internet. So a little fun quiz question for you guys for part 3. Which protocol ensures that web pages are transferred between a client and a server? We have the options HTTP, IP, TCP, or DNS. And obviously, web pages, it should be pretty obvious. The answer here is going to be HTTP, because as we said, and that also makes sense. And another thing to note is that at the beginning of any URL, if we're on the internet, we see HTTPS, and obviously the S stands for secure. If there isn't an S, it just stands for HTTP, and that is how we're able to work around the internet. So thank you guys so much for watching. In the next section, we will be discussing network performance. So stay tuned for some more awesome programming content.